Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Today's guest has been seen on CBS's Late Show. His debut album, First Date with Joe DeVito, is in regular rotation on Spotify and SiriusXM. He was on the album with my girlfriend called Three's Comedy. Joe DeVito.
Hi.
How you doing, Joe?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back. Thanks for having me back.
Dude, everyone loved you last time you were on. Everyone.
That's so good to hear. How do I monetize that?
Yeah, that's the thing. They love
Just buy
you.
our class and we'll teach you how.
The show you want to hear, first time Joe was on, was called Endgame with Joe DeVito. By the way, recently everybody loved the guest, Brian Mitchell. He was the Jehovah's Witness.
What a giver, you know?
Yeah. And I don't know how close they are, Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons, but you did a show for Mormons.
I did.
Do you get?
Are they allowed to laugh?
Are they allowed to laugh?
They love to laugh. I did a special for Dry Bar Comedy,
Okay.
and they record clean comedy specials for family and Christian markets, but they tape them in Provo, Utah. So
Well, that makes sense, right?
that's where you go for the Mormons,
Yeah.
high concentration. So they flew me out there, and I recorded the special, and very happy with the way it came out.
Yeah.
Doing it, I was a little concerned because
You're edgy.
well, for them, I'm pretty edgy because I'm not married and I don't have any kids.
Right.
So the fact that I escaped my 20s without either of those was kind of...
Are you like, I'm 50 and I'm dating, and they're like, what?
There were a couple of people... Well, what they do a good job with promoting the clips. So the clips that they put on Facebook, the 3 clips have a combined, I think, close to 2 million views. It's pretty wild. But then you would see... Some of the women did not like that I guess I did not speak well of women. I don't think I did.
In what sense? I'll be the judge.
I just was saying things from my regular act that I wouldn't think would bother anyone.
Which I know I have memorized.
No,
but
you guys,
But for those who
you receive
don't.
the handouts and the mimeographs. I think one of the lines was that someone says, "What's dating over 40? What's that market like?" And I say it's like, it's not Whole Foods. It's like TJ Maxx. So I said, there's a lot of odd sizes, a lot of last year styles, and how's the joke go? Well, anyway, so they were like, how can he talk about women like they're commodities? And I thought that's really what you took away from that.
Right.
Besides, anyone who listens to my act and thinks I come out looking good has not been listening very closely.
Oh, I want to be clear. You never do. You know what? After we were talking about how you like to date younger women,
Yeah.
I believe the last show, I know after the show, I asked, do you date women your age? And you go, actually, I'm seeing one right now, and she's 30. And I go, do you know what I just said?
What is your age?
My age is 50.
Okay, so 30 is not your age.
30 is not my age.
Let me just quickly do some honestly just quick math. They were adults for 12 years, and you were an adult for 32 years.
Never do the math. Never do the math. Another game
And
you
always
want
be selling.
well, another game you don't want to play is when I was this age, you were doing this.
Right.
And usually they were in high school.
Do you
These are hot tips for older men.
Hot tips for old pervs. Well, let me say this. I found that it is not as big a deal with younger women as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a deal breaker, that I was to say, well, I'm just a creepy
them.
old dude. Yeah, and they have no problem with it.
Well, because we're waiting for men to mature, and at 50, you might be starting to.
I'm on the verge.
Yeah,
I'm very
almost.
close to it.
Also, they have no problem with it because they're young and stupid. You're taking advantage.
Yes. But I did have one woman who I met she's like professionally hot. She goes to, if you have a bar opening, she shows up in an outfit and throws T-shirts to people. And she's really good looking.
Right.
And she's 28 and...
Sounds like you have a lot to talk about.
Well, we were talking...
I wear T-shirts.
I said I'm huge is at a cotton blend. And then I passed out from all the blood going to my erection. And she had to wave a T-shirt over me to rouse me. But I said, why are we hanging out? This is kind of weird. And she said...
Why
don't
are you
understand.
here?
I was like, what am I doing here? I just wandered in like a confused old man. Where am I? And she said, you don't understand the guys my age. She said, I can't talk to them because all they're thinking about is sex. And I can see it in their eyes that even when they're pretending to listen to me.
Right.
And what was funny to me was that she thought I was doing something different. It just is my laziness and tiredness now comes across as like a quiet cool. Because women will think, he must know something, and I'm just exhausted.
The thing is I want to argue with you because 30 and 50 seems like such a big age gap, but I don't know. I think like you're in amazing shape. You keep your mind sharp.
It's just
not
it's
not
just,
that 50 is so old that you need to keep your mind sharp.
but it's strange when it's a pattern. That's all. When you look at who cares who Leonardo DiCaprio, he's fantastic. He deserves whatever he can get in life, right? But when there's a pattern that you dump them at 25 and then you start over and you dump them at 25, that's when it becomes odd.
That you think nobody in their 40s or 50s is really.
Oh, I don't think that. I just
That
think
you act like.
because my life has been different. I never got married and I never had kids. So most of the women getting into my age group are divorced or have children, or some of them are widowed now.
Ew, life stuff.
Exactly, like they've lived as adults.
God. They they have to take care of shit.
Yeah, and I have posters in my apartment. I have posters on the wall.
I feel like we might have talked about this last time you were on, but isn't it funny that because you don't have kids and don't get married, it's a detriment, right? Do women look at you sideways? Like, well, why? Whereas me, I'm divorced. It's like, okay, you lived life.
You gave it a shot.
Yeah.
I think I've crossed over to some kind of other side because for many years I think women felt that way, that, what's wrong with this guy? I met a woman after a show.
You didn't cross over to the other side. You're still dating 30 and 25-year-olds. So they're like, yeah, of course you're not married or have kids. Nobody I know is.
That's right. We're just getting ready for a 10-year reunion. I think what I've crossed over to is that it was, I think it ran parallel tracks to people thinking, well, maybe he's gay. But then gay people got married before I did, and it kind of screwed that up for everybody because I never thought they'd get there before me.
Right.
But I think women look at it differently, that women my age who've been through that, they see me as someone who does not have a lot of baggage, it's true. But in a way, it's like saying...
I see you as a person who hasn't been tricked. Keith, you've been tricked. I've been
burnt.
tricked.
Yeah.
We've all been tricked.
You got some
I don't
scars.
know. We got sold something that we said we're not going to buy. And all of a sudden, we're there just spending money.
There was a special.
Yeah. Now, I was never against marriage. It's very hard to say that I never got around to it.
When George Clooney got married, were you like, the fuck?
No, he was still waiting for Ted Alexandra, which
I know.
Right.
now it's over too.
You know what? When Ted has that great joke, and when
That he's dating a 30-year-old as a 50-year-old.
well, he said that men his age, it used to just be him and George Clooney.
Mm-hmm.
And when George Clooney got married, I texted Ted and I said, "It's just you and me now, buddy." And then he got married, so I guess it's just me.
The smartest man alive.
First man alive. Yeah.
Do you rate on dating apps your age?
I do. No, I don't hide that. Although it is weird that once you go from 49 to 50, a lot of things change.
Well, it's like that when you sell something, you sell it for $19.99.
Exactly. Exactly. It's true. And it's the same as when I was on stage, and I have a joke where I say, I did it all through my 40s, and one day it was I'm single and I'm 49, which means I'm ready to cut a deal. That was the joke.
Right.
And the first time I said I'm single and I'm 50, I realized, oh, this is a different joke now. And the audience realized it too. Because single and under 50 means they hear it and think, this guy's got to get his shit together. But when they hear single and 50, they think, it's not going to happen. This guy's never going to get his shit together.
I think that we should have more conversations like this where marriage is an option and not the why didn't you do it, where the fuck have you been.
Right.
I think that we constantly talk to two-year-olds. Listen to people talking to 2-year-olds and how they go like, oh, do you love your friend? Are you on a date? No, I'm shitting my pants next to this other fucking baby. Oh my God, who do you like? And it's always like the opposite sex. Like, oh, you're talking to Kimberly. Do you like him? What the fuck are you doing? So we're already talking to them like a goal is to get married. And we also, I think, even talk to them about like their goals in general too soon. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Shut the fuck up. Live in the now with your goddamn kids for a minute. You want them to decide, okay, they're going to be president. Look at your kid. They're not going to be a president. Now they're already let down.
Right. Joe tweets out, I follow him, at Joe DeVito Comedy. A quote, what?
I'm just thinking what's going to come back to bite me now.
No, this isn't bad. It's funny.
Thing I said.
Maybe what you're searching for has been inside you all along. That's me hitting on a woman who likes to travel more than I do. Look in a mirror, baby. Really? Because I'd rather you take me to the Bahamas. No.
The women in travel thing, I think, is interesting. That they're so obsessed with travel.
What do you mean? Like, what makes a person obsessed?
They want to.
They
They have the money to.
Right.
But there's a friend of mine who she constantly is posting on Instagram that she's always on a beach somewhere. I mean, I don't fault her for it. It's just it's just not something I would pursue. But again, I've said, like, at this point, my profile on any dating site should just say, I don't want to go anywhere, I don't want to do anything. So I'm not a whole lot of fun.
What do you actually want to do with your partner or mate or like a date?
You know, I like dates where you really start talking to each other right off the bat. I think that's kind of fun. I think
You like podcast dating.
it's true.
That's
You
what I'm
do a
going to
little
call
interview.
it from now on. You know, you just
Yeah.
come in and it's like, what's up with you? What kind of drugs did you do?
You get right into it, especially when you're older. Although they don't like when I mention my sponsors. They do find that on the date that's a little weird.
Right. Here with Blue Chew and
Like, why is he holding up a bag of beef jerky and staring into the middle distance?
Well, you said recently that you dated someone who's like 26 or something like that.
No, I went on a date with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. My mistake.
please.
Yes.
She's not my girlfriend. Yeah, and that
how'd
was
it go?
It went well, but you know, to be honest,
I'm over beer pong.
I just wish she hadn't brought a dolly with her on the date. Made me feel weird. I think I may have to tell her the age difference is too great.
You have to tell her, huh?
I think so, because she seems like she's pretty into it, and
That she digs the age difference or what?
that she's interested in pursuing a relationship
okay.
with me. And
Why? Why is this one a problem?
perhaps I've had a little bit of personal growth. But I think,
Don't give in. Don't have that much personal growth.
trust me, if it's taken this long, I'm not going to rapidly expand. I think it's because
But what happened? It sounds like it happened in a week. You're like, what am I doing?
I just think at her age, she should be doing things that a woman should do from age 26 to 30. And that's not where I'm at.
You have until 30, bitch.
I have until
And then
30.
you're mine.
Do you tell her
then
I'll
you do
be-
nothing with me?
Once she's
I'll be
30,
around.
I'll wait until all of her eggs have died, because that's what happens when you turn 30. And
Can you not relate to women your age?
I guess I can. I mean, I found that it really turns into talking about physical complaints very quickly. You start talking about your bad knees, and
But
you're
you can't be the only person your age that is not complaining, not talking. Like you,
Yeah.
I always think like, you know, when I'm on a male-dominated podcast, they're like, "Yeah, but you're cool," and I'm like, "No, I am not a unicorn. When I speak to other women, they speak the way I do. I just find them, you know, because
Sure.
they are out there."
Well, all right. I'll frame it this way.
How about on these apps you write not into your aches and pains?
Ah.
Maybe just put a picture. One of the pictures will be me, and then a little bottle of Tylenol.
See?
Just say with it.
With
Well,
a no sign.
I actually did a podcast where there were several women on it who were age, I guess, 25 to 30. And to hear them talking about dating,
That's your demo.
no, I did not like what they were saying. I realized, like, I was actually concerned for them. So I think maybe I have matured that this sort of,
Like what? What was your concern?
what is this obsession with ass eating?
That's what it started.
I don't understand.
Well, it was an ass-eating podcast, first of all, Joe.
It was called Ass Eaters, but still, I thought it had to do with the keto diet. Is that part of keto?
Like they're into it a lot, or
They're so casually into ass eating, and I don't want to sound like an old fuddy-duddy.
And Andrea, you're nodding yes. Are you being funny, or is that like the new thing now? Everybody loves it.
Are you into it? You've done it, but like, are you
That's a no.
volunteering or someone's asking you to do it? Someone's asking.
Huh.
I don't want to do it, even if somebody asks.
I
me.
got to do it now. If kids are doing it, you got to stay young.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I feel like if you ask me to do it, I'm gonna have to be in the shower washing you first.
Throw a couple mints in there, go to town.
I just don't. I don't understand what happens when you stick your tongue in someone's ass.
I guess the same as a finger, right?
I've had it done. I was too ticklish. But all right, let's say that's your thing. You're an ass eater or an ass ET, all right? That it just seems like such an advanced move, and that the women seem to casually say, "Yeah, I didn't want to blow this guy on this first date, but I ate his ass," and I thought, wow, this is like a quantum leap
Right.
in between what you should. So I realized I'm out. You know,
I'm being told it used to be choking. Now we moved on to ass eating. This third base,
Yeah.
I cannot keep track of, right? Seventh inning stretch, don't ask.
yeah.
Did we talk about your tattoo on your right sleeve?
We have not. What do you want to know?
There's a female on there.
I have
You're way into females, and then some sort of.
I have a water spirit, a skull with the aces and eights, the dead man's hand. This is a very brief tough guy phase I went through. I have another skull, and I have a naked devil woman. Look at her. Look at the lady dance. Isn't that nice?
He's flexing.
What the fuck is happening on your sleeve? It doesn't represent you, the you that I know.
I went through, most of these are very old when I had my long hair, and I was in my rock band. And at the time, I thought, when I'm older, I'm going to have whatever job I want. I'm going to get a full sleeve, and no one's going to tell. And now, I've got the time and the money. I don't think I could sit in a chair that long without getting bored or annoyed or my ass hurting. So, yeah, I have no interest in getting this sleeve finished off. But it's nice. I mean, once you have them for a while, you kind of forget.
It's very pretty. The
Thank
artwork
you.
is gorgeous. What do you think about them now?
I don't even notice them. They're just, I've had them for 20-something years. I have a tattoo in my mouth.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, it used to say rock and roll, and now it looks like a UPC code.
On your bottom lip.
Oh, shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's way in there.
Yeah, it hurt like hell.
But it's not even like on the top of the back of
It's
your
in
lip.
deep.
Why that deep?
Yeah, it's far back.
Yeah, because my friend who ran the shop.
Oh, friend, huh?
Back in my celly. He did it with a guitar string and some ash. He had just given a tattoo to this big fat guy inside his lower lip. And then the guy went out and ate like a 14-course meal, and he knocked the ink out of his lip because he ate too much.
Ew.
So next time he came in, he would like push the ink into the guy. The guy was screaming. So he had just finished doing the outline for one of my other ones, and he said, "We're going to do your lip tonight." And I said, "Oh, I don't know." And he goes, "I got the same needle in. We're going to do it." I thought, all right.
Can you imagine peer pressure by tattoo artists?
Right.
That
Yeah.
should be against the law.
Yeah.
Are you a sissy or we're doing your lip?
Come on, man up. You're like,
How much did it hurt?
it was over quick, but it feels like it's going to come out the other side while they're doing it.
Fucking
Yeah.
hell.
These are things I used to thought made you a man.
Okay.
Was tattoos and
Did it help you become a man? Like, did it give you the things that you needed at the time?
well, it's had 30 years to kick in almost, so I don't think it was the most effective choice. That shows you my flawed thinking, that I didn't think buy a house, marry a woman, have children. I thought, what if I got rock and roll tattooed in my lower lip? Then I certainly would be a testosterone-producing organism now, wouldn't I?
When did you stop pursuing testosterone behavior?
Oh, God. So it actually got a little worse, because then after I cut my hair and stopped, realized that was a dead end, then I got really into weightlifting. And then you've seen the pictures of me as a power lifter where I was all jacked up and all that. And that didn't take. And then...
But didn't that, working out does help you even talk to people, I think. There's the confidence, the energy level, the routine.
That's why I still do it. I do it more for mentally. But that was a very brief tough guy phase I went through, where I was competing in powerlifting, I was learning judo, and I was helping to coach an elementary school wrestling team. This was before stand-up.
Were you more aggressive in your speech? Because somebody's going, who's it? Cody Allen is watching live on YouTube. Seeing those tattoos with his voice is crazy, LOL. Not the nicest thing he could have said.
And I definitely didn't need to repeat it. But
He's not wrong. I would not argue with anything he just said.
how much could you bench, bro?
I was never a good bencher, but my best deadlift was 535 pounds.
Sounds like a
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
That's at least 3 people.
Yeah,
or,
I was
or
a-
one person. Sorry, out
one
there.
rather.
Shout out.
Way to fat shame.
No one can weigh that much.
Yeah. That's a goal weight for some people.
Wow, but that's wow.
It was pretty competitive for a drug-free guy. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I weighed about 165 pounds at the time. Actually, weighed less than I weigh now.
Okay, so that is 3 of you.
Yeah, it was triple body weight. It was fun.
Did we talk about this? Did it bother you knowing that people were on steroids, knowing that
I
you can't
competed
be
in
the best?
I competed in the drug-tested division.
Okay. Did
Yeah.
they still cheat or?
Yeah, there was always a couple guys
Yeah,
trying
of
to sneak
course.
into the drug-free division.
But isn't it funny? There's a drug-free division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what the other division was called? It's called Open. It's
Wow.
like take whatever you could get your hands on.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of like that though, because listen, do the drugs that you want so we can see the entertainment that we're looking for.
Yeah.
But also give a chance to someone like you who I want to see what a natural body can do. I like that there's 2 different things.
Sure, it was just for me, it was just to see where I could push myself. Did I ever tell you about the 2 bodybuilding chicks at my old gym talking about?
We say broads, but I don't think so.
broads. Fair enough. These 2 skanks. These they were so jacked up. They were like the old Jim Carrey impersonation with a voice like this.
Right.
And they were talking, and one said that before the bodybuilding, well, the steroids make your clit grow if you're a
Yeah.
woman, and they don't make your clit grow if you're a man. I just want to be very clear about that. And she said she would get excited before she would pose, and she would get like a little lady boner. And the other woman just said, just tape it down. Yeah. And I thought, what else are you waiting to hear about in your experience to think maybe you're messing with your chemistry in a way that you shouldn't?
But isn't that interesting that it doesn't grow your penis?
No, it actually makes your balls shrink because you're not using them for anything.
But isn't
so
that
in that
weird?
way it grows your penis. You know?
But I don't understand
It's perspective.
Right.
why it would grow your clit that's in the shape of a penis, right? Like,
It's the same tissue
Yeah.
at some point in your development.
so why would it do that to a female body and not do it to a male body? I mean, if it did it to a male body, you guys would be jacked the fuck up.
God.
It would be disgusting out there. I mean, more power to you, do you? But oh my God, you guys would be killing yourselves with a giant dick in your hand, just masturbating with two hands up and down, just going like, worth it.
We'd look like the old Greek statues of Priapus, the god of erections.
Everybody knows God of erections, absolutely.
Priapus.
Yes.
What's for the root for priapism? Constant erection.
Don't get us started. The other week we were telling you about the guy who left his 2 infant kids in a car
Oh yeah.
for 8 hours. They died, of course.
What happened was he thought that he left them at their
daycare.
daycare,
Yeah.
and then just left them in the car thinking they're at the daycare. And I was like, how do you?
The bodies reached 108 degrees. And I see on our forums people saying that, and I think it happens to like 20 to 30 kids a year.
Yeah.
And
One is too many.
they were given, I didn't look at the links in all fairness, but they gave links about people saying and doctors saying how it happens to parents. They just forget.
and they think they dropped them off.
And now that I'm dating somebody with 3 kids, I like that it's understood it can happen.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, those are older kids, so you would be deliberately locking them in a hot car.
You can still forget.
Come on. Sometimes the kids are in the car when you push it into a lake.
They were all so quiet.
Well, there's a campaign now telling you to leave a shoe.
Well, what do you mean?
That when you get in the car, take a shoe. I'm not making this up. Take a shoe off and put it in back with the baby. So when you step out of the car, you realize I'm missing a shoe. It's in back with the baby.
Isn't that interesting? Here's how you could remember your baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Have your baby hold your attaché case.
Yeah. When you're uncomfortable, it might mean your kids are in the back.
Well, I don't have any children.
Can't walk straight? Your kids might be dying.
It's weird. Well, what I do to make sure I don't leave my phone in the back seat is I borrow someone's baby, and I say, "Can I just keep your baby here as like a placeholder?" But then I remember I have an Android. No one gives a shit.
My youngest stepson is in Rhode Island for summer camp for 4 weeks.
Keith loves talking about his fake stepkids.
I like seeing
That are
everybody.
I wasn't going to say anything but stepson.
I like
I
everybody's
think I need
shocked
to have a
face.
talk with someone.
Yeah.
I like everybody going, oh no. So he's in some camp for 4 weeks. It's the 2-week mark now, and Kyle's visiting him, and he goes, "Did you send me a care package?" And it's like, no, a care package is when nobody can be with you. You're saying something. I'm here.
Yeah, I drove up.
And he goes, well, maybe Keith can send me one. So it's like flowers at work. You know, he just wants to open a box of candy in front of other people.
Not just that, you're already falling for some bullshit. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe Keith will. Harumph. Would you pass the note if you're free? I mean, it's fine if he doesn't, but maybe I won't be as lonely.
You do want us to get along, but whatever, starburst.
Yeah.
But Keith, that means you have only 2 weeks. If you send it now, you're good to go. But if you wait a week, it'll be like on his way out.
We'll send it tomorrow. Julia's here, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Julia Schachter.
Dollar store gets a visit tonight. Julia gets a assignment tomorrow. Everybody wins.
How do you know what to send him?
I'm just gonna send candy.
How old is he?
11. Just turned 12, I believe.
Send him a Hustler magazine.
Wow.
Be the most popular kid at camp. Kids got to learn somehow. That's right. That you can't hand deliver a care package. Then that's just your mom giving you shit.
Right.
Yeah.
A care
It's
package.
gotta be special. You had to pay extra to have it delivered.
But it is fun to open a box, you know? I think that's why we get all those subscription things, like send me something.
Right.
Care package.
It's another month. You have to.
Yeah.
Oh, I went through when I first discovered eBay for myself. I developed a problem with ordering shit, and then I'd come home and I'd open my door and these packages would fall in, and I think, what the hell? So I drunk dialing eBay.
I know a couple people that drunk buy sports cards like baseball cards.
Both my brother Michael and my boyfriend Xerxes order stuff from China. Like and Xerxes would forget, he'd get high in the middle of the night and order something, and then like it takes 6 weeks. So at 6 weeks you really forget what you get, and they're like, "Ooh, what did I buy 6 weeks ago?"
Right.
And they both kind of forget, and they both don't spend more than like $1 on everything. Yeah. So it's really hard not to do it.
But that is funny when it's like, I would get this. Well, you did. I
Yeah.
would order that.
I had something show up the other day, and you get the notification you have a UPS package coming, and I just assumed I must have ordered some office supplies or something like that. And when I opened it up, a friend of mine had it was a still image of me on a radio broadcast. It was on the Anthony Cumia show,
Okay.
and she blew it up to poster size to be a smart ass to send me this picture. It was a picture of me talking to Ann Coulter, and like we're making like
wow.
it's like Ann's making goo eyes at me, and she blew it up. So I was like, I'm getting this frame. This is hilarious.
That is hilarious.
But it was so funny to get that unexpected and think, what did I order? And then it's a big picture of me
Right.
staring at Ann Coulter.
Hey, by the way, I've been going to the gym like you, so we're gym rats, you know.
Sure.
I think
How's your
it's-
aminos?
fucking
the
5/2.
My nitrogen balance, fucking awesome.
I've been there 3 times already, so I know the feeling and the pump that you get.
Oh yeah, 3 times in 3 weeks. You are sweating.
Well, actually, I heard
Meanwhile,
that.
he makes fun of me. I'm like, I rode my bike to work again. He's like, why?
Yeah, but you don't have to. I have to. My girlfriend runs a gym. Okay, there's no way
can't
out
keep
of it.
up.
But I used the steam room for the first time.
Oh,
It's a good time.
joy.
I don't get it.
Oh, of course
like
not.
it?
Why was I optimistic about this?
It's so steamy.
It's nice.
I used to be scared of it as a kid. I would like the steam sort of left over, but then the steam would start and I would run away like something was about to attack me.
Like
I
a
just-
dragon was.
Yes. It was so much. I'm like, this can't be right. I gotta go. I like the sauna better. It's a little less dramatic.
I know I was in the steam room for 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Is that a record?
Well, the fact that you were timing it is a little alarming.
Oh, Lord.
The steam, I like the steam and the sauna. There was a massage parlor I used to go to.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying it
Really
like you
nice
were so
place.
happy at the end of it.
Oh my God, that was, forget Disney World. This was the happiest place on earth. It was called the Madison Club. I think it was on like 36th Street.
Do you need a secret code to get in?
No, that was the best part. It was out in the open. And you'd go in and you'd pay a couple of bucks, and they had the steam and the sauna, and then you'd sit in a Barco lounger, and they always have The Godfather playing. You'd smoke a cigar. You'd eat a Mrs. Fields cookie. You'd have a little glass of juice.
You get tattooed.
It was great. And then you'd go in, you get a massage, and some chick would jerk you off, and then you'd go back to sitting in a big chair.
How much was all that?
I think you were in and out for about $180, and we're talking early 2000s when I was more flush with cash before comedy. So I think at one point I was like, man, I'm going monthly to this place. It's a little indulgent, but it was nice.
Yeah, I buy Starbucks. You buy women's. Fine.
It was good. I felt like
We all have our issues with money.
Do you ever ask him, like, do you want to be here? Hey, I'm all for freedom, but do you want to be here? You must. I'm not even going to ask.
If, if I open the door right
Where
now.
does this store go to? Your house?
Look. It was the early 2000s. We didn't know about human trafficking. Well, I tell you, when that place closed, it took it hard.
Yeah.
Very upsetting.
I got to do it myself.
Well, did you ever try a different place?
Yeah, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. It was a
The
nice
steam
joint.
room wasn't as.
You knew your people.
Did you have a favorite gal?
Oh,
I call
yeah.
them gals
Yeah,
now.
this Russian chick, Natalie.
You like it
nice.
hard.
She beat the shit out
I
of me.
knew it.
She did.
You don't have a Russian girl named Natalie, and you like to
She
be
worked me
petted
over.
to
Yeah,
to
she's,
come.
she's using your dick like a speed bag.
She used to say to me,
I can't believe you added that.
Wow.
she'd say, my son date American women, and American women too. I don't like them. We want nice Russian girls for my son. And I was
That's
like,
she's
"All right."
jerking you off.
She's jerking me
Sounds
off.
good. Sounds
I
good.
was like, please give me more geopolitical insights as I blow my load onto a towel.
Did you ever feel weird? Did somebody ever make it awkward or something happen? Where
Yeah, there was one girl who was reading a book. She was studying for something while she was jerking me off.
Stop
Yeah.
it. Did you open your eyes to see that?
Yeah, because I was like,
Something's weird.
I think I had my eyes closed, and my instinct said to me,
Paper cut.
no. I said, did she just use my dick as a bookmark? Because that's not cool. No. I think what happened, I don't know if some sort of instinct, I opened my eyes because I felt like someone's reading while they're jerking me off. Like I could feel it. I could feel it.
What did you do?
I
Can you
think
say
what I
anything?
did-
Because when I get the wrong coffee, I'm like, do I say something?
Right. No,
You know what I did? I went to the guy who was like the bartender in the little area. They didn't serve alcohol, but he was this gigantic dude. And I came out. His name was Serge. And he goes, how'd you like it? And I was like, she was lame, man. And he goes, well, Natalie just showed up. And I was like, do another one? He's like, but he was good. He's like, you're already here. And I was like, I am already here.
Wow.
So I think I dropped like 300. Let me tell you, I had like startup consulting cash coming in. So I was throwing the money around.
You're already here.
I know, right? What that is like the lamest justification for anything that you're already here. Like
Right.
you can't argue with that. I am already here.
Was there a time where you weren't saying that in public because it's like an illegal thing? It's very taboo.
That I went to massage parlors?
Yeah.
This is the first time I've said it.
I love
think
you.
so, yeah.
This I
I'm
just
very
found love with you.
comfortable here.
That's very nice.
I want everybody to know though that now if I go for massage and if she were to reach for my dick, I would smack her hand away and say, my back is killing me. So do not go anywhere near my dick.
You got to work for it today.
Well, the joke is a happy ending is you fix my rotator cuff.
Right.
So, yeah. I found a nice place near me on Long Island, and they even say on the sign, like, keep your underpants on. I'm like, cool. But
Wow.
it's in, like,
Is it a neon?
No, those if it's purple neon, underpants are off. Yeah.
keep your pants on.
It's
Keep your
called
pants
$5 hand jobs, but it means back
nice.
massage.
It does, it's according to the Yelp reviews. But no, it's like a foot spa, but you get an hour for like $37.
Wow.
Holy shit, it's good. And then I come out and I feel good. I give a nice. I'm like a big shot. I'm like, here's $12.
Wow.
I'm like for forcing you to touch my body.
I feel weird. I get manis and petties, and after the petty, I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 20-some bucks for that?
As they're like cleaning out the inside of your thing that
Yeah.
you're like, wow, I was not paying attention.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
If they said, honestly, $200, sir, I'd be like, yeah, no shit.
Fair enough. Yeah. Here. Why don't you work on this part of my body I can't reach because I'm old and out of shape.
I think some of these races, they worked their way up from pedicure to jerking you off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I might want to touch your dick more than your feet.
Yeah.
I think that could be a lateral move for some people.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know if it has to do with ethnicities, but
Let me mention this. Speaking of your body, may I sleep number beds? I have a sleep number bed. Let's say I have a hard day at the gym, right? And I'm like, oh, I want my bed a different softness, a different firmness. I can adjust it at the touch of a button. Little firmer, little softer. And I don't have to make my girlfriend have the same number. The other half of the bed, whole other bed.
there's one less thing to fight about.
Now, my number right now, 45. Tomorrow, 80. I don't give a shit.
To me, it makes it easy to buy a bed because you don't have to make that decision in the showroom. Is this what I'm going to feel like laying on later, next month, a year from now? I mean, you keep a mattress for like 10 years.
They don't let you stay in the showroom overnight, these bed companies. I asked. No. They laugh you right out of the store. So, yeah, it's nice that you can just adjust this how you want. And what they have now, I'm a little jealous of this, Sleep Number 360 smart beds. So instead of what I do, where you wake up in the morning and you check, you tossed and turned a little bit during this time, you can adjust the bed, which is still cool. Now the bed adjusts as you're sleeping. The bed knows you're tossing or turning. It fixes it right there. Come in now, save up to $600 on select Sleep Number 360 smart beds. You'll only find Sleep Number at one of their 575 Sleep Number stores nationwide. Find one nearest you. At least take a look. sleepnumber.com/KATG.
That's sleepnumber.com/KATG. Take a look there. Let's just flood their website.
Yes. Make them sorry they ever supported us. Let's do it. Come to this favorite topic. Top movies of the weekend.
Yes, I went to the movies this week.
And went to the movies again. The actual movies. A 2019 film.
That's right. I'm never going again. You people are getting ripped off, and I'm here to save you. Let's go.
First off, number one movie, not a surprise. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Now, just so you guys know, that's number one because you can't get over anything in that fucking movie, and they'll keep making more and nothing happens.
Well, it's not until the 2-hour, 40-minute mark where they look at each other, Jason Statham and The Rock, and go, I think we got to work together.
Yeah, did you see that?
I did, and
Why?
I was bored because I love violence, and I was just bored. And I had the feeling that I was getting old and I got nervous about it. And then, like I said, I saw the TV show The Boys, which is very violent. And I'm like, yay.
I'm back.
I'm back.
I love punching in the face like a young person.
Number 2, The Lion King. Number 3, the 7-day movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What a piece of shit. Spider-Man Far From Home is number 4. Number 5, Toy Story 4.
You know, when the kids' movies are at the top, that makes sense because parents are always looking for something and they have to buy tickets for the whole family like everyone wants to watch it. That's the biggest scam, but that works well. And also, parents get to take a nap all together. It's fascinating. Have you been to a movie theater like for a kids thing? I imagine every parent is sleeping and the kids are just hopped up on the soda they bought.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's so funny. It's really nap time for adults, and you'd be happy to pay $15 just to get a break.
It's cheaper than a sitter.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There's a Wall Street Journal article about how in the Fast and Furious franchise, these guys are such alpha males in real life that they have rules in their contract about how
You
much,
blow me first.
about how much they can get beat up in a movie.
Okay.
Wow.
Vin
Very good.
Diesel counts his punches that he takes. And it can only be a certain amount so he doesn't look like a sissy. Not that he's in this movie.
Why do you say things like toxic masculinity? I don't understand. What can I say anymore? Why can't a man be a man? Get the fuck punched in the face then, bitch.
Yep.
Jason Statham gets assurance that he won't be pummeled by anyone.
And what qualifies pummeled?
And all of them, including The Rock, are never allowed to lose.
It's good.
That just makes you a bigger bitch.
Right.
Like, I don't even pretend to lose.
Now, here's the movie Henda Saw.
Yes, I got scammed by Keith.
It's a one-day event.
One-day event. Is that how you sold it to me? The fuck?
Kathy Griffin. It's called A Hell of a Story, and it's her story about when she held up the picture of Trump's head, or held up Trump's head and as a picture, and then got death threats. This is the story and the accompanied stand-up.
Now, that actually was very interesting to me because it was so much controversy over an obvious joke. However, you still have the president's head in your hand. And if that was Obama and somebody from the other side who was, quote, joking, we would still have a reaction, and a very strong one. Death threats, I think, are ridiculous all around, no matter what, because what the fuck are you talking about? But so I was very interested. And I'll tell you this, it was one of the greatest podcasts I've ever heard. Did I need to pay $15 and sit in what's supposed to be a comfortable seat with no popcorn in my hand? No, I did not. My tooth hurt way too much to just be fucking sitting there. She's so interesting to me because she is funny. She's funny, she's corny, she's gossipy, so it's not so much my thing. Yeah. But I like the way she speaks, and I like the way she says, like, names. She says what happens, but it's so funny because she's so real and honest and then so fake at the same time because she's like, Hollywood's a fucking asshole, except when they invite me everywhere. You know what I mean? Right. It's like, so-and-so wasn't on my side, but so-and-so called me to say everything's good. And here's how I feel about the people who called her or text or tweeted her or whatever saying, you know, hey, we're on your side or whatever. We love you. We're on your side. We're supporting you. You have not hired that bitch in... well, I want to say decades, but let's call it years. You have all the power. They showed, I don't want to target one person, but they showed, and this is the only thing they did show, so part of me thinks that she's making up half the celebrities that are saying supported her, but I don't know how to do that math, and I'm not going to do the research. So she showed Amy Schumer in a limo full of, like, you know, some of the top female comics, and they're like, we love you, you're the best. I'm like, Amy Schumer. She's in the middle, Kathy Griffin is in the middle of shit where she's afraid she'll never be hired again. You're saying that she's one of the greatest comics of all time and that you love her and you support her. Hire her to open for you for a minute. You have a private jet.
Right. You produce a lot of stand-up specials.
You do a lot. And this is the time where she really needs your help to say that you're supporting. So it's very Hollywoody, which, again, I don't want to point out Amy Schumer. You know, it just happens to be the one that she had proof about.
Right.
But I do think that Kathy Griffin shows this fantastic view of Hollywood and how you gotta watch out to not get sucked into it because everything that she finds important and that she's crying about is blowing your mind because it's not, oh, I'm getting these death threats and my mother thinks, she said her mother thinks she's in Al-Qaeda. Her mother thinks she's in ISIS and things like that. It's more like, am I ever going to work again? They're canceling my thing. All I want to do is be funny. And I get it. You shouldn't have your career taken away. But I love the people who are saying, where's my voice in this? And they're saying it into a microphone with all of us listening. You know, I love it's like, what can I do anymore? No one's listening to me, and you get 1,000 retweets. So it's a very interesting, like, I know you're right, because no one should have to go through that for a joke, even one that's so crass and so edgy and fucked up maybe. But you're still reacting to it in a way that's fake and Hollywood, and if it did work, and you know what I mean? It's such a contradicting feeling of, I want to be on your side because, again, no one should go through it. But the whole time I'm rolling my eyes at you because you're enjoying this so much. And as soon as you could turn it into a thing that puts you on stage and makes people listen to you and, quote, love you again, as soon as the Kardashians are understanding you again, then you're fine. It's not as soon as, like, this thing is over, you're fine. As soon as you're fake loved by all these fake people, you have this calm demeanor. And it's a very weird, interesting story.
Well, everything she showed, there's like 20 minutes or so of her telling the story, like, in real life, going about her day, and then an hour and 20 of stand-up, which talks about everything we just saw in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
What I found interesting is that she didn't show the apology video that she did make.
Yeah.
She made it without makeup. It's famous. If you're showing everything else, show the apology video. And you can easily say why you took it back. Maybe you're so disgusted with yourself that you don't even want to bring it up. This is a tell-all.
She brought it up, though.
She mentioned it.
Yeah.
But show it. You're showing everything else.
Well, what's funny is she's not showing everything else, which is hilarious. There were, like, 15 minutes at the top where...
At least.
So 15 minutes of her, we're watching her on tour. We're watching her, close out the show. We're watching her travel, and then it goes into her stand-up show exclusively. So in those first 15 or so minutes... the things that she's like, woe is me about, turned me off so hard. The biggest thing that she went through, first of all, she goes, it's just us three. It's just us three on this tour. It's crazy.
The director and assistant.
The director and assistant. First of all, it's not just you three. There's a camera on you right now, okay? There's at least one person holding that camera. Now, there's probably a boom mic, but we won't get into that. Second, your whole show, every single show, or at least many shows, because we saw you getting on and off stage a lot of times, is being recorded by at least 3 cameras. Okay. Then there was the booker. The booker's there. So your assistant... You're just going from one country to another and someone's telling you what to do. So the assistant at some point in the middle of the European tour...
Yeah, by the way, when she's walking through airports, she's not carrying anything.
She's not carrying anything. She's dressed beautifully.
She's not schlepping a roller caddy with her.
Yeah, it's just us 3. It's crazy. It's just you on stage. So what do we need other people for? So at some point, her assistant quits. And oh my God, you have 9/11 didn't devastate as many people. It was fantastic. The director was like, we're dealing with this thing today. And he's acting like he doesn't have makeup on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, this is so real right now. I mean, it's 2:00 in the morning and she just left. And I'm like, you must have driven that woman to a fucking place that she would quit on you between 2 and 4 a.m. when you're Kathy Griffin and she's on tour and that's what she does for a living. You must have been the biggest fucking cunt face that she cannot handle. And all she has to do is be your assistant. How much of a fucking prick do you have to be? Then she goes, I guess I'm doing laundry by myself. And she puts socks into...
This happens multiple times.
Yeah. She puts socks into... And this woman quit 2 hours before. Okay, so I don't know how much laundry you have. And you're in a fancy hotel in a fancy room. Call up the fucking thing. You know you're calling up the fucking thing and having it. Like, your assistant, you don't have to pay the assistant anymore. However much laundry costs in your beautiful apartment, it's fine. And I remember being on tour, by the way, sometimes they'll take your laundry because they know that you're on tour. Yeah. So one of the assistants at the, and this was like a low-end tour that I'm on. So anybody will do your laundry if you're Kathy Griffin. But whatever. She takes the sweat socks, puts them in the sink, and starts blow drying them. I guess this is how we do it. I'm like, you've never done laundry in your life.
She hand washes the laundry and then dries it with a hairdryer like she has to.
And not only that.
And it's never explained, but it's done multiple times.
Not only that. I am not buying that is your fucking laundry. If you ever wore a sweat sock in your fucking life, you would have killed yourself. And not even like as a I'm not talking about like, oh my God, kill myself. No, you would fucking murder yourself. You would stab yourself in the heart for being caught with sweat socks. But all she has in there is sweat socks. He's not wearing sweat socks either, by the way. So I don't know what made up scenario. Did you ask the fucking, I don't know, the housekeeper, like, can you take off your socks so I look like a normal human being?
Right.
What are you washing in the sink? So
Why-
these are just fake fucking whiny things.
Right.
And it's like, this real thing happened to you, and I want to kill you.
It was very masturbatory. You know, there was a lot of, during the stand-up, telling me her accomplishments. 21 specials, Emmys, Grammys. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm here.
Yeah.
I paid $15. I know that.
I don't think there's a lot of new people discovering Kathy Griffin. That
Right.
Oh, Amy Schumer didn't do her part?
Well,
There were so many bad cuts, too. Like, she says her show is normally 3 hours.
That's crazy.
But I can tell this was, I guess, the 2 hours she decided not to have because it goes, if it's audio, you can't really tell. But on video, it's so obvious that a joke is done, cut, next joke, cut, next joke. And it's like they edited it right before it aired. Like it was so quick and
They
fast.
just finished and then gave it to like the person who's going to put it in the thing in our theater.
There's a spot in it where another angle was from a cell phone, as if it's not an angle that's ever used again. Well, then you don't use that joke if you didn't have a camera on it for some reason. That's the end. You just shoved in a little phone footage.
Is it to try and make it seem as if it's
No, because it was only for 5 seconds and never done again.
And see, I didn't even notice that as hard as what I noticed. Whenever they show laughter or clapping and they show the audience, nobody in the audience is laughing or clapping.
Right.
And they think like, and at first I don't see this, but after fucking listening to Keith and the continuity issues that people have, and after like, you know, working on editing your stand up and stuff, like you got to show real cuts. And so the audience is like, oh, holy shit, ha ha ha, and then clap and standing ovation, and you cut to the audience 5 seconds later, they've all fully sat down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
And the name drops out of nowhere, speaking of Hollywood.
Totally, but in her defense, that is her thing, and that's
That
why
is
you're
her
there.
thing.
No, I mean, sometimes there's no story.
Yeah.
Just a
Blah, blah,
list
blah,
of
blah,
names.
blah. Brooke Shields. And then the FBI came to my house.
Yes, but I will give her that is for her audience. They want to hear as many names as
They want
possible.
dish.
Yeah, and they want like the interactions, even if it's just, I heard of this, it'll attach to this person was just in the room. I get that.
And it was a one-day thing, like I said. It was in so many theaters, but only for one 8 o'clock show. And then afterwards, you're watching her live do some interview with the lawyer that she talked about. But we had to walk out of that. So after she reminds me how many specials she does again, as she goes, no, lawyer, what is the First Amendment?
Ugh.
And the lawyer's like, well, Wiki says. And we're like, all
my
right,
God.
goodbye. It was over 2 hours with everything included.
I really wanted to sit through the thing at the end. I really did.
Yeah.
Because the story is really fascinating. This turned into the biggest thing. It became political when she's not really political. She got political though. She learned those names too.
Right.
But it's not. It's so.
We're on your
jerk-offy.
side, and it's very
Yeah.
jerk-offy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it could have been a good project if she didn't make it. If somebody else
Yeah,
did
it
it
was-
from the outside.
It was written and
Yeah.
directed by her. But then, I will give her this, then it wouldn't be her.
Yeah.
And this is so perfect for her audience. It really does dish. It really does tell the story. It really says it in her voice. And I got to say, some of the stuff, she's so funny because of the way that she expresses herself and the wording that she uses is so specific. She's absolutely an incredible performer. Incredible performer.
But your whole thing's about being real. So don't let
Yeah.
me see an audience not clapping and I'm hearing clapping. Don't show me your back and I can tell you overdubbed something.
Yeah, and the thing is she's real Hollywood, and so for us to come in there and go like, this is so fake. This is more like, do you want to come to brunch with me? And and it should have been a podcast or I don't want to say Netflix special because at this point a Netflix special is so glorious. They're coming out with some new stuff like
Right.
200 new Netflix originals, and they fucking nail that shit. So Netflix gets a lot of credit. So it was like an incredible podcast, really put together well, and a good live show, I bet. But I don't want to sit through 3 hours of anything like that.
Well, good luck working with her, Joe. Tomorrow we'll shit on Chappelle with whatever stand-up comedians here.
I wonder if, we're talking about the distinction between what's real and what's not real. I don't know if there is such a thing anymore. I don't think people see the reality they create for a video or a podcast or whatever character thing they're doing, it doesn't matter if that's not real anymore. It's a strange thing because she kind of made her name as the gossip. What was it, D-List? Was that her show?
Yeah.
And
what's her face died? Can we talk? Joan Rivers. So
Yeah,
there's a spot in there for it.
And I think what happened was, it reminds me what happened with Sandra Bernhardt. Like, Sandra Bernhardt was so great because she was who she was. But then when she started to hang out with famous people, she kind of became the thing she was making fun of. And I think that happened with Kathy Griffin, too, where it's one thing if you're a nobody who's aiming at the celebrities you're shooting up at them. But when you start to hang out with them, it's kind of why I stopped listening to Howard Stern once he married a model and his life was something I don't think any normal person could relate to anymore.
I see.
So they buy into the thing they used to make fun of, and I think that's where they lose you.
Isn't that the same as, like, didn't The Office cover this a little bit where the intern turned into the boss and the intern was like this down-to-earth person, but they're showing, like, as soon as you do have that power, as soon as you are in that club, it's, you know, it's inevitable. You just turn into that because you don't have that level of grounding anymore. So you can't pretend like you're on the first floor when you're on the third.
You can't. I've always heard that good times are like bad times, that they reveal your character. That when things are going well, if you won the lottery, we'll find out what you're really like. And if you're really stressing, we'll find out what you're really like. I always think of Axl Rose when he just was a mentally ill singer in a sleazy rock band and no one gave a shit about him. He lived his life a certain way, but as soon as people started indulging him, he could flourish into the biggest asshole he was always meant to be.
This is so sad to me because are we all meant? Are those spots only available to those who can behave like the assholes that? Do you know what I mean? Like, and you watch it kind of happen, and we only know the comedy world. That's the world that we're in. And you go, oh, this person's so nice and they're diligent and they work really hard, but this person knows how to step on people and they've made it a little bit. And it works really well, and they only make friends until they stop needing the friends. And it seems like those are the people who, not only in comedy, but in your workplace, wherever you're listening from, it's going to work. And so it's like, do I have to be an asshole? And then I think, well, I don't know how to do that, so I guess I'm just going to stay here.
But you have to change your goal. I think it comes down to values, that there are some situations where I look at the way a person behaved and I would know that it wouldn't even tempt me to act like that.
Mm-hmm.
I never would.
But you don't know that.
Well, you make a good point. I feel like you can talk about what the price for you to do something is and have a theoretical discussion, but once they open the briefcase full of money,
that's the thing.
It's a different story.
Yeah, we can say, I remember George Costanza, what's his face? Alexander.
Jason Alexander.
Yeah, he did a Doritos commercial after we knew that he was making like $1 million an episode, and he's like a gazillionaire. He's been in movies. He was in Pretty Woman, for fuck's sake, you know? Yeah. And so we're like, what are you doing a Doritos commercial? But then somebody goes, hey, somebody handed you $5 million to do Doritos, like to crunch, you know, on... And then you can buy that third house. And everyone's like, well, you can already buy the third house and you already have. And how much money do you need? It's like, okay, but you're not faced with this is how much money you could make for a day's work.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that I wouldn't do an ad. But then if I did do it, I would like to think that you forgive me because, I don't know, maybe give it to a good cause or half of it. And then we start spending people's money. Well, you have so much money, you should give to this, that, and the next. And it's just like, okay, let's just all live our lives.
And that was what he did. He was a guy who did commercials. Before he did Seinfeld, look it up. There's a commercial for him singing and dancing for McDonald's McDLT. And you watch it, and it's very cringy. But that was what he did. He was an actor who was in commercials because he had a look. And no one knew he was going to be in a big show that blasted off like that.
So you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, that's somebody's job. That's a person's job.
You need to get hired.
I think that it's not how much money will you do something for, it's how little. And I learned that. I worked on a show years ago with Morgan Spurlock that he ended up selling to MTV. It was called I Bet You Will. And it was kind of a combination of Fear Factor and Jackass. But the premise was...
God, I love that shitbird. I don't know how to... He got into some trouble, and it's hard to like him in public now. But
but the premise of the show was, you know, you'd go up to someone in the street and say, how much could we give you to eat this jar of mayonnaise?
Right.
And they would say, get the hell out of here. But if you said, well, what if we gave you $20? No way. And you'd watch people. What if we gave you $30? No. What we have $37, and you would see there was a price, and it wasn't the theoretical suitcase full of money.
That's what I love about when. Sorry to cut you off, but when people are like, "I wouldn't suck a dick for $1 million." I'm
Oh,
like,
you'd line up to suck a dick.
nobody's offering you $1 million, and I would suck anybody's dick for $1 million. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I bet if we gave you $1,000 and your rent paid, you're sucking that dick.
You
I
get
don't
that
know.
dick sucked for 3 digits.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right, and I mean 3 fingers.
3 fingers up the ass. Yeah, that's a little bit extra, including tip.
That should be the poll for today. Would you suck a dick?
For 3 digits.
Non-dick suckers. Would you suck a dick?
Now, the flip side is I feel like, I wonder if Michael Jordan in his prime, do you think he could have just killed somebody and we would have been cool with it?
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody loved Michael Jordan, Space Jam.
Cosby raped at least 100 women.
He
could still sell out.
He was a prolific mass rapist.
When he put his mind to something, right? So that's all I'm saying about this movie. It came off disingenuous for somebody who seems genuine. And I guess I can't feel too bad for you when you're living next to Kanye West.
Kim Kardashian.
Both.
Oh, really?
It's just in them.
Oh, right. Duh.
That's right.
I didn't put
the
that
same
together.
house.
Yeah.
By the way,
but here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
That's 2 movies that I went to.
Well, this doesn't count.
No, it fucking
This is an
counts.
experiment.
It is insane. I went to that Beatles movie.
Which
and
I didn't even see, and I see
yesterday?
everything.
Yes. What a fucking joke of a movie. Just
Really?
listen to the Beatles at home.
They did it better.
Jesus Christ. Okay, and then I went to this fucking one-day event that they conned me into. You guys have one more movie.
That makes it sound like it's a sale at a car dealership.
Right.
Well,
Was there like one of those weird tubey things in front, like Kathy Griffin doing like floating around like that?
I cannot even believe it. Oh, and Keith was like, "You were late." I'm like, we came in at 8:05. The movie started at 8. Does that count as being late for a movie?
Right, this is the argument, right, folks?
I don't understand. I didn't know there would be no previews.
I picture Kathy listening to this and like, you didn't even show up on time?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we missed a lot. But there should have been previews. That's popcorn buying time. That's smoking weed time. You don't walk into Kathy Griffin for fucking 2 hours without, like, getting ready. Yes, Andrea, how would you like to yell at me today?
This is, excuse me, this is Hemda arguments. Like, you present a logical reason and cause and effect, and she goes, it's a fucking whatever, fuck you. And that is your comeback.
You so get me.
He
Yeah.
says I was late. It was started at 8 and I came at 8:05.
I was 5 minutes late, but weed and popcorn and fuck you. And loud noises.
You get it. New York
Hemda, you're
City.
aggressive. Everyone, all your friends say it. Everyone, your parents said it. Literally every person. You're like, fuck you.
You're on my parents' side about something?
I'm starting to.
I'm
I'm starting
joining.
to.
You know
Wow.
what? I-
Wow. Look at that. I didn't even have to get rich or famous for these fuckers to turn on
turn
me.
on you.
Joe, have I been aggressive towards you?
Joe, toward me? No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the moment.
Joe, you date young women. You're a fucking idiot. Anyways.
Look how they paraphrase me. I've been nothing but nice.
I will be honest though, you took that other glass of water that I thought was my backup glass of water.
You were not
so-
even done with the first one.
I'm
thirsty.
pacing myself.
Keith,
We're almost
You're
at
not
the
even
end.
done. Weed, movies, etc.
Keith yelled at somebody once. Okay, Henda, thank you.
Keith was in the army.
I mean, you
He would have fought for any cause.
I get Starbucks, but you buy prostitutes. Bye.
Can we somehow let our guest talk, please, Joe?
well, I'm just saying, you know they call me Joey Two Glasses. And I just,
It doesn't have to do with my eyewear, and you know that.
I owe you water.
Thank you, Andrew.
You're very welcome.
Yes, thank you so much.
I'm sure we
So
made.
I had to get it in there.
I'm sure we made a big difference.
One of my best friends in life.
Speaking of who needs water, nice croaky voice when you went on the mic there.
That's how you pronounce Henda's name right.
You get bronchitis.
Joe DeVito, follow online, Instagram and Twitter at Joe DeVito Comedy. The website is joedevito.com. His album, like I mentioned, First Date with Joe DeVito, you can get and listen to, as well as Three's Comedy, features Kyle as well, and Vicky Cooperman. And it's always a pleasure.
It's fun. And if you want to watch the special, go to Dry Bar Comedy, and you download the app. You can watch these specials for free. It's a clean special. You can watch it with your parents.
Yeah, do I have to?
You can watch it with my parents. I've been
Okay.
putting it off.
Well, Andrea wants to watch it with my parents now, apparently. My God.
No, I get it, Kalilis. I understand it. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.